Sorry, you said if me, I'm a service provider, and
So let's say that
okay,
you're advising a pharmacovigilance service provider that today is on R2 and they haven't invested in R3 yet.
okay, okay. My recommendation would be to hurry up and get the R3 environment up and running, and do the transfer ASAP. That would be my recommendation. And then by doing so within their own environment, they will be able to test and put in place maybe some routine that could be used working with pharma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And especially, you're right. I mean, I'll come back to a point you made earlier about the Argus, and it is a reference database. So Argus is not set up exactly the same way across different companies, but if you start to do it once, I think it's easier to help pharma to make that transition as well. So I think that could open opportunities for pharmacovigilance provider.
And should they stay with Argus, or should they? Is there a new kid on the block that's going to be the future database structure?
Yeah, to me, if it would be me, I would do two things. One, stay on Argus because Argus is still very strong in the market. Argus is very visible to pharma companies and used extensively. So I think keeping Argus is important. But then I will use the opportunity to, as a second wave, to start looking at other providers that will be cheaper, that will have maybe better tools, especially around the reporting capabilities. So I will definitely do some exploration there.
So, but then then they'll have to pay twice, right?
Correct. But as a service provider, I think that's a bit of a challenge in a sense. You can't really get away from Argus. But then you may be able to provide tools which are more flexible and better designed than Argus, and that could make a difference to a service provider versus another. That's my thinking. Because when I was at Roche looking at different tools and service providers, I will always look at those which are the most innovative as well to bet for the future.
Mm-hmm. And so if you are one of these service providers and you need to make this R3 transition as soon as possible, et cetera, would you then upgrade your own servers, or would you move to the cloud?
Very good question. I know the cloud is very trendy. It depends on the server status, I would say. If the server is one of the latest version, which is well organized, well structured, I may want to upgrade it if the cost is not too high. But if it's a server which has been there for a long time, where there have been a lot of development around it, maybe the cloud. That would be my way of thinking.
Mm-hmm. Now, I guess the only problem is that if you move to the cloud, right, it will maybe not be so easy to add your own bits and bobs to it. Do you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly right. That's why.
So if you move to a cloud-based service, right, then you still need to make sure that you have a direct access to the data, so that you can build separate software and still access the data remotely, right? So
correct.
So I think that's probably one of the tricky bits, right? Because otherwise your cloud service provider will say it will do exactly what Oracle did, right? So every tiny customization they will charge for it.
Exactly. You're exactly right. Yeah. That's why me as a let's say I'm in the pharma and I'm looking for a product. Cloud is a capability which is indeed very attractive. Server is known as being very stable and well known today. So I would say, especially if you work with big pharma, they may prefer you to be on the